friends. Welcome to another session of our meet and greet with two very special artists today as part of our cross-culture recitals. We have Gayatri and Sushant Ramdas, siblings who have actually collaborated today in our cross-culture recitals. We're very excited to have Gayatri back again on Sayat Saras. If some of you remember, she was with us when we had Abby for the Holi special, the Colors Festival, and Gayatri had actually joined us back then, and so excited to have you back again, Gayatri. A little intro to both of them. Gayatri is actually an engineer. She's a writer and an animal lover with a nose for music, art, and culture. And in fact, she comes from a musical family, and of course, so does Sushant. She is the daughter of playback singer Sunanda, who has sung several thousand songs, wow, for leading directors like Ilayaraja, A.R. Rahman, MSV, and more. Her father is also deeply passionate about music, and he belongs to the Guru Guha School of Music. Gayatri has been learning Carnatic and Western music for over 20 years and is currently under the tutelage of Srimati R.S. Jayalakshmi and Sri R. Vaidyanathan. And when she's not at work, you can most often find her singing, doodling, or deep in conversation with her local fauna. How interesting, Gayatri. You're such a multifaceted artist. Thank you for joining us again today.
Thank you.
And today we're also excited to have Sushant. I have heard a lot about you, Sushant, from Gayatri. Sushant is also an engineer, but he's also a pianist and an artist who enjoys reading, creating, and listening to a wide range of genres of music. Just the perfect person for our cross-culture platform. He completed all 8 grades in classical piano from the Trinity School of Music and holds the achievement of standing first in the country in the performance section. Wow, that's an amazing achievement, Sushant. And in addition, Sushant also learns Carnatic music from Srimati R.S. Jayalakshmi and Sri R. Vaidyanathan. He is keen about science, mathematics, and art. And when not working, he spends most of his time either reading, creating music, or chilling with his dogs. Actually, very interesting, Sushant, because again, you fit in very well with Sayat Saras, with our science and arts and everything. Welcome. Very, very nice to meet you.
Thank you. Yeah,
and welcome both of you. We're so excited. I wanted to tell our audience, Gayatri and Sushant have recorded this against all odds, during the pandemic and the lockdown. It was very tough. I know it was very tough for them. In fact, many of our artists from India, it was very tough, and, hats off to them for having taken the trouble to do this. I just want to turn it over to you guys. Tell us a little bit about, sort of your musical background. Very, very interesting background. Obviously, you come from a musical family. Tell us a little bit more about that.
I think you go first.
For sure. So the thing is, both of us started learning music from a very young age, and it wasn't a conscious decision to start learning as such, because we were always either listening to music from a really young age, or we heard our parents singing, our uncles, and even our parents would often, it was just a part of life from a very, very small age. So both of us grew up listening to a lot of old Hindi songs, Malayalam, of course, a lot of Carnatic. So when the decision to start formally training came, it didn't really come as a surprise to either of us. So that's pretty much just how much music has been a part of our lives. So Sushant, I think he started learning the piano when he was about 10 years old.
Yeah, when I was in 8th grade.
Right.
That I think literally I forced my way to learn the piano, because till then it was Carnatic music, but I was quite obsessed with learning the keyboard to learn. Till then there were kind of, stories like, maybe you need to wait for the fingers to develop, stuff like that.
Right.
By the time I came to the 8th grade, I kind of literally put a gun to the head and said, I need to play this. So then slowly we started searching for teachers. Yeah, in the middle we found a really good teacher. I started my piano classes then.
Right. Sorry,
And
if you could speak up a little bit, it's not very loud.
Oh, you can't. Okay, you're not able to hear it.
Yeah, I think you kind of froze
Okay.
as well. Just yeah, I think there's a little.
Okay.
If you could speak a little bit louder, please. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
this is
No. Also.
right. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So no. Yeah. So till around eighth, it was the main focus was on Carnatic music in our house. Like we had never really been. Because we'd heard a lot of Western music and that kind of stuff, but there was no active exposition to the
Right.
classics and the works of greats. So
Right.
I started kind of diving into that world around seventh. I was like obsessed with the piano and I really wanted to learn. So by the time I came to eighth, it was literally put a gun to my parents' head and say, I need to learn this right now. And they were like, okay. And finally, we
Right.
found a really good teacher in the middle of the day. And I started. Yeah.
Right. Sorry, I think
Sushant also, yes, so
go ahead.
he's not just interested in the piano. He's also, I think he started learning the violin, and both of us can do a very basic form of guitar,
Very
and
basic.
Oh,
a very basic.
I see.
I mean,
Wow.
Yeah.
it's almost embarrassing to include that in the
You
list.
would say that. No, hey, I see the whole idea behind the cross-culture concerts and the recitals, the concerts, we featured professionals who really spent like, especially people who are of a particular nationality who spent decades learning music of another culture, right? So the recitals was to really encourage folks like, yourself who are exploring both genres and to say that it's okay to give some kind of exposure to folks who are pursuing this. And so I think it's a great place to embrace new instruments as well and show your skills. Why not, right? But the
Sure.
other thing I wanted to mention also was Gayatri has been on Sayacharos a few times, right? You also came for the little
Yes.
Sikil Gurucharanji.
Yes.
But so tell us a little bit about sort of, how is you guys' like routine? Do you like, I know you're learning Carnatic music still, both of you, right? But do you spend time like learning more Western or practicing? I mean, how do you sort of balance both?
So we have Carnatic classes twice a week, and there's also so not just during those particular times. We also practice Carnatic music during the week. But other than that, I think it's more of an organic process. We listen to a lot of music in general, either on YouTube or Spotify, and it's not just restricted to the Indian the style of music, right? Even
Right,
within India, there's so much more. It's not just Carnatic. There's Hindustani. There's
right,
also the film music and
right.
folk music. Sushant is like he's very knowledgeable about Western music, and I'm more interested in the he's more into the classical, whereas I'm more interested in the in the genres of rock and pop.
Right,
So it's a so listening is a very enriching experience because it's not just limited to one genre.
right. No,
Yeah. And to
Um,
add on to what Gayatri said, the thing apart from using like conventional streaming services like Spotify and all, like
Sushant, sorry.
our
I think you're frozen a
yeah.
little bit, at least for me.
yeah.
Does he look
Yes.
frozen to you, Gayatri?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, we'll give Sushant a few seconds to log back in.
Right.
But super cool, Gayatri, that you both kind of complement each other. With Sushant's interest in Western classical, and both of you have the Carnatic in common. There, he's back, and he's gone.
Yes. Okay.
Apologies to our audience for the spotty internet, but thankfully we have the siblings, so we can keep talking to Gayatri in the meanwhile. So when you guys collaborate, right? Like for example, in this particular performance, how did you guys do you guys do a duet, or is it does Sushant do like instrument?
So, I think Sushant, did you catch what Ranveer ji just said.
Yeah, I think I just heard about the ending of that. What do you guys do in this performance?
Right, exactly. What was your sort of collaboration like? Yeah.
So go ahead and answer, Sushant.
Yeah. So, and I was actually very quick. Yeah. So in this case, our collaboration. From last year, we've actually tried our hand at also learning programming, like music programming, because it's one thing, to make some nice music at home, and it's the other thing to also capture that sonically in a very nice way and present it. So via phone you can record, but a lot of quality, a lot of notes, everything goes missing.
Absolutely.
So what we've attempted to do in this thing, we've tried to create a blend of our styles, and then we've also tried to capture it well enough through programming. So it's something that we've been teaching ourselves from the last year. So we hope it, we kind of know it will sound good. So we've used Logic for programming the backgrounds and sections, and we have recorded the voice ourselves. So there's been a lot of technology that we've incorporated in these songs. And as for styles, I think we've selected, Gayatri has sung an English song, a Western song, like she knows a lot of those. And then we have attempted a few of the Indian songs, but we have not necessarily followed the background format for those songs as those songs were played in the movies. We've not followed that. We have instead changed the background a bit for a couple of these songs. So just to see how it works out.
So do you sing as well, Sushant?
Yeah, I do sing. In fact,
amazing. So are we going to see a duet with the two of you? Or?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So audience, stick around because, very shortly we're going to premiere this, and what an awesome team or, sibling team that we have here for this. It's going to be super exciting. I think I have to thank, both of you for taking the trouble, especially in the middle of the pandemic and all the confusion. And I believe there was a wedding also thrown in good measure. So congratulations, by the way. But we're very excited. What we look forward to having you guys, more, as a duo individually in the future as well. Tell us a little bit more, I think we've pretty much talked about the different genres. I think we don't want to give too much away. I think people can watch it. It looks like multi-genre, multi-language, and thrown in with a lot of good technology and, changes in the background score and things like that, which is awesome. Is there anything you guys would like to share with, sort of upcoming artists who are trying to dabble between genres?
Well, I think, practice, it sounds very cliche. Practice is very important. Like whether you look at it as practice, as like a chore or something, that's up to you. But I think every day can be something that it interests you, exploring. And of course, listening, that's what I wanted to say before the net actually cut me off. Like there are a lot of conventional methods of listening that we use right now, like Spotify, Prime Music. But the good thing in our house is that we have like an insane number of records and cassettes, all those old things which have a lot
cassettes. Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
I remember that from my generation. I thought it was just one generation that's
no.
Cassettes.
We have a lot of cassettes and we have a lot of records. So
amazing.
There are a lot of us, like all of us, spend listening to that. So some of them are not captured on the digital stream, so you miss out on really good piece of music. So there are music from as early as the 1930s. The first Bollywood music that we have on record. So those are just incredible. You might not have the same sound, definitely, but it's incredible melodies, incredible visions, and you just get to be a part of that. So that it's a very inspiring kind of feeling to listen to all those. So I think that those all push it. So listening, I'd say, is so important. And as the more diverse and the more deep you go into it, the better.
No, I think it's a really interesting point you bring up, Sushant. I've heard this, my children learn Carnatic music and, they're always told to listen to the older songs, right? And I think, coming from you, it's true across genres, right? Like, because there are certain details that you miss out, and listening to the old songs, really makes a difference. It's a great message. It's something I'm going to tell my children Gayatri, anything you'd like to share with us before we sign off?
No, I think Sushant has pretty much covered it.
It's amazing though that when did you guys start collaborating before we sign off? That's like, is it recent or has it been always you've collaborated as siblings?
I think we've always done things together pretty much. Because we don't have that much of an age difference between us. It's 2.5 years. So we started learning music more or less at the same time. And everything, like be it books or, music or anything else, most of our hobbies have always gone on the same timeline. So yeah, it's really great to work with Sushant. We don't see it as collaboration. It's just two people just bouncing ideas off each other and having the process.
That's totally amazing. We are actually very excited to have both of you, and we hope to continue having you.
Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity.
No, it's in our pleasure, and and like Gayatri, you've already supported Sayatsara so many times now in the past. So thank you for that, and thank you for doing this. So audience, please stay tuned for this wonderful performance from the siblings, Gayatri and Sushant. Thank you guys again. Take care. Have a lovely day. Stay safe, and congrats again, Gayatri.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we'll sign off now and have a lovely day.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
கயராக்கி இழுது போறாயே நீ. சொர்க்கம் விட்டு பூமி வந்த மீண்டும் கேக்கில் சூரியன் வந்த நான் விழிச்சு பார்க்கையிலே கலந்து போவாயோ நீ. அடியே அடியே என்ன எங்க நீ கூட்டி போற. அடியே அடியே என்ன எங்க நீ கூட்டி போற. सपने बूंद बूंद नैनों को बूंद बूंद जो बरसे सपने बूंद बूंद नैनों को बूंद बूंद कैसे मैं चलूं देख ना सकूं अनजाने रास्ते. I'm so tired of being here, suppressed by all my childish fears. If you have to leave, I wish that you would just leave, 'cause your presence still lingers here, and it won't leave me alone. These wounds won't seem to heal. This pain is just too real. There's just too much that time cannot erase. You cry and I wipe away all of your tears. You'd scream and fight away all of your fears. And I held your hand through all of these years, but you still have all of me. Of me. Used to capture me by your resonating light. Now I'm bound by the life you left behind. Your face at home, my once pleasant dreams. Your voice that chased away all the sanity in me. These wounds won't seem to heal. This pain is just too real. There's just too much that time cannot erase. You cry and I wipe away all of your tears. And you scream and fight away all of your fears. And I held your hand through all of these years, but you still have all of me. And I've tried so hard to tell myself that you're gone, but though you're still with me, I've been alone all You cried and wipe away all of your tears. You'd scream and fight away all of your fears. And I held your hand through all of these years, but you still have all of me. Of me. Of आज जाने की जिद ना करो, आज जाने की जिद ना करो, आज जाने की जिद ना करो। यूं ही पहलू में बैठे रहो, यूं ही पहलू में बैठे रहो, आज जाने की जिद ना करो। हाय मर जाएंगे हम तो लुट जाएंगे, ऐसी बातें किया ना करो, आज ஆனா புலி எல்லாம் அதுக்கும் அதிகாரம். நீர் போன பின்ன நிழல் மட்டும் போகலை போகலை, நெஞ்சு குழிய நிழல் வந்து விழுந்துருச்சு. அப்ப நிமிதவதா அப்புறமா குனியலை குனியலை, கொடு கம்பி போல மனம் குத்தி நிக்குது. நெஞ்சுக்குள்ள உம்மை முடிஞ்சிருக்க, நெஞ்சுக்குள்ள உம்மை முடிஞ்சிருக்க. இந்த எத்திசைய என் பொழப்பு விழிஞ்சிருக்கும். பச்சி ஊரங்கிருச்சு, பால் தயிரா தூங்கிருச்சு, இச்சி மரத்த மேல இல கூட தூங்கிருச்சு. காசாய் நோய்கறிகளும் கண்ணுறங்கு வேலையில, ஆசாய் நோய் வந்த மகால் நிமிஷம் தூங்கல. நெஞ்சுக்குள்ள உம்மை முடிஞ்சிருக்க, இங்க எத்திசைய என் பொழப்பு விழிஞ்சிருக்கும். உருவாயிரங்கலையே உள்நாக்கு நனையலையே, ஏழெட்டு நாளாய் எச்சில் முழுங்கலையே. ஏழை இளஞ்சிருக்கு ஏதோ சொல்ல முடியலையே, ரப்பர் வளவிக்கெல்லாம் சத்தமிட வாயில்லை. ஓ நெஞ்சுக்குள்ள உம்மை முடிஞ்சிருக்க, இங்க எத்திசையில் என் பொழப்பு விழிஞ்சிருக்கும். வெள்ள பார்வை வீசி தீர் முன்னாடி, இந்த தாங்காத மனசு தண்ணிப்பட்ட கண்ணாடி. வண்ணமணியாரம் வலதுக்கு கடியாரம், ஆனா புலி எல்லாம் அதுக்கும் அதிகாரம். நீர் போன பின்ன நிழல் மட்டும் போகலை போகலை, நெஞ்சு குழியில் நிழல் வந்து விழுந்துருச்சு. அப்ப நிமிதவதா அப்புறமா குனியலை குனியலை, கொடு கம்பி போல மனம் குத்தி நிக்குது. நெஞ்சுக்குள்ள உம்மை முடிஞ்சிருக்க, நெஞ்சுக்குள்ள உம்மை முடிஞ்சிருக்க, இங்க எத்திசையில் என் பொழப்பு விழிஞ்சிருக்கும். Heavy words, little lies, telling everything but the truth. The truth. Three little words over time, overheard and overused. Used. No sweet, nothing could ever be turned to something new. No grand gesture could ever be made to measure you. It's what you don't do, it's what you don't say. I know you love me, I don't need proof. It's what you don't do, the games you don't play. I know you love me, I don't need proof. Down the whole world, just wanna be your girl. It's what you don't do, it's what you don't do. Closer we get, oh, the less we need to show. Ooh.